Yeah, I think just first of all, I just want to make mention of how awesome the atmosphere was Saturday night. That was a true nip at night. It was incredible. Probably the best atmosphere I've coached in. I've been in a lot of big stadiums and a lot of great atmospheres, but that was as good as it gets. So appreciate all the fans. Our students were incredible. What an awesome atmosphere. So just and disappointed that we didn't get it done. I think obviously heading into the season, our goal was to get to Dallas and play for a Big 12 championship, and then we were 11th game of the season. We're still playing for that championship, which came up a little bit short for several reasons, and disappointed. But now turning the page to get to TCU. Obviously, a lot to still play for. A chance to go get 8 wins in the Big 12 this year, and to finish out the season strong as we head into bowl season. And signing dates next Wednesday, so you're signing a bunch of high school players, and then obviously portal season happens throughout December and into early January, so that'll be big too. So I think just the momentum that you can carry you into this December and this type of this part of the season will be huge for us, and there's still a lot to play for. I mean, there's a lot of pride in our team. You think about these 22 seniors. This is they're still playing for a lot. A lot of these guys are going to play at the next level in the NFL, and so just trying to go out and play their best game. So, obviously it starts this week in practice, coming out and having a great week, and, getting ready to go down to Texas to play TCU. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. Obviously, 8 sounds a lot better than 7, and as you head into as I mentioned, as you head into signing date Wednesday, and then as we're starting gathering names for the portal, I think that's huge too. I mean, obviously the most better you can do win-wise is going to help, and just the fact that going and playing on the road against a really good TCU team and getting another win, that'd be awesome. It says a lot about our program. It says a lot about our guys' resiliency, because we have dropped the last 3, and all 3 of those teams are really good teams, and this team's good too. So here's another one. Here's another great opportunity. That we didn't finish the last few. How can we go out and finish these games and get this win? So yeah, I think also to get the bad taste out of your mouth, and I just think as you head into the off season and bowl season, man, winning is just so much better. As you head throughout December, and then obviously the bowl game too. So you head into the off season. Yeah, I think it matters. I mean, I think that's another motivating factor. The more wins you can get, hopefully you're more attractive to a great bowl that you'll be able to go play in one of these great cities, and our fans and our players and everybody with our program get associated with our program get to experience that. So obviously, and best bowl you can get into, and I think 8 wins obviously helps that, and so. That's what the unique thing about this one is, because they're 7 wins as well, so they're actually playing for the same thing. So, but I think this makes an intriguing game, and one that both teams will be playing really hard for. Yeah, it's Whirlybird is the name of the Whirlybird. It's the name of that route. Yeah. We've been running that play, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years. That's the best it's looked, and it was beautiful. It was a great play. It worked out great for us, and I'm really proud of Cyrus. I mentioned this maybe a week or 2 ago, but how he came in, he had an injured arm, and we didn't even know if he was going to be able to play for us, and went through all 15 practices in the spring. And then this fall he hadn't missed anything. He's been through every practice. He's obviously been dinged up at times throughout the weeks, but he still comes out and performs at a high level on game day. And the fact that he was the last several weeks. He's been one of the tops in the Big 12 in touchdowns, and people know that, and they still he's still being productive, and I think it says a lot about him. But he's a hard worker, and he's been hungry all year to go out and prove something, because you mentioned that Texas A&M didn't do as much there, and then he got hurt toward the end of the season. And then he just wanted a great opportunity and a great chance to go prove what he can do. And even I remember even recruiting him. I mean, he was thinking about going to Tulane. He was thinking about going back home and saying, man, you know what, I'll just go back home and, finish out my career there. Or do I take a chance on a school like Cincinnati and play at the power level and see if I can do it? And that was a big chance for him, and he's very grateful that he came here now and finished out and has had a really good year. And obviously for him, he wants to finish strong in these last couple games.
Seems like some of the other receivers aren't making the plays or the catches consistently like they did in the first part of the season. Is there something about November getting to the end of the season, maybe mental or physical wear and tear, where you see the little stuff?
Yeah, I think I thought they did a lot better this past game compared to the previous two. Where we didn't, throw the ball as good. But I thought this game, I thought the guys, ran better routes. I thought they were way more aggressive in this running routes and when the ball was in the air, trying to go get the ball, compared to the last couple of weeks when I thought we were more passive, trying to let the ball get to us instead of attacking the ball. So I think there was a big difference there. And I thought they played a lot better. And I think that was the reason why we threw the ball a lot better too in this game. There was a big part of that. I think in this game we had one drop. I think Goody had a drop on a drop out on our sideline. I think that was it. The rest of the time, caught the football, ran hard after the catch, made some plays in the passing game. So and hopefully we'll continue that trend this week. I think we're going to need that. Obviously, we're going to be able to need to throw the football at times this week, and we're going to need some great play out of receivers for sure. Yeah, he's a talented quarterback. I mean, he is a true passer. You go watch him, and I mean, last year I think he broke the school record at TCU, and he's had another fine season this year. He can make all the throws, deep throws. Your deep out routes to the field. He puts pressure on you because of that. I think he's very competitive. I think he's he's an outstanding quarterback and has been, ever since he's been playing. So. Last year, we did a pretty good job of containing him. I think maybe the second half had something to do with it because it looked like a snow globe when you watch the film. It was snow everywhere. Probably had a little something to do with that. But, he's an outstanding quarterback. He's another one in this league that, that we knew was going to be good, and he's going to be hard to contain.
Defensively, it's hard. The technical great part how much
Yeah, we got to get better at those for sure. We're sitting in the back of the stats. For all teams that turn people over, we're not turning guys over. And that's going to take a deep dive at that in the off season. How can we get more turnovers? What can we do scheme wise to tweak a little bit to get that happening? And who are we putting on the field? You have to have ball skills in order to get interceptions. If you can't catch, you're probably not going to get an interception. I mean, that's the bottom line. We actually had a couple Saturday we dropped and wasn't able to finish off, and that's frustrating. We all know that. I mean, because if you can get turnovers, now you're giving your offense an opportunity to go score. And when we're not, this is what happens. And teams just continue to drive the football. Then we bow our head up and we hold them out. But they've occupied the ball. And that's why we have not had many snaps this year offensively. We've had a great year offensively. I mean, really efficient offense. Yards per play, rushes per play, not giving up sacks, tackles for loss. Very, very efficient. But we're running some of the least amount of snaps of anybody in the country. So therefore you can't put that to work. And I think so. There's a fine line there of how can we create more turnovers and get the ball back to the offense.
What's the balance on that between scheme and aggressiveness?
Yeah, I mean, and there is a balance. You're right. I mean, if you're too aggressive, you may create some more turnovers, but you may give up more big plays and more touchdowns. And obviously you don't want to give up scoring. Scoring is the name of the game on both sides. We know that, but there is a fine line in there. How much more aggressive can we get? And I think that's something that obviously we got to take a deep look at. And maybe in December, that's a great time before a bowl game to really dive into that and say, all right, what can we do? What can we tweak? It's hard when you're in the middle of the season, having to tweak something and change what you're doing. But I think maybe you get to bowl season, you can probably tweak it a little bit.
You threw the ball a lot better. How important is it, though, in the running game
Yeah. 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 We'll see. You know what the rain does on Saturday. You know, but I think like we've always been a team where, you know, let's do what we can do in this game well. And if it is throwing more, then that's what we'll do. If it is running more, that's what we'll do. And I think I don't necessarily go into a game saying, hey, we have to run for 200 yards a game or we have to throw for 300 yards a game. And I think this past game it worked out where we threw right at 300 and, you know, we just didn't run the ball as effectively. And we also, you know, again, we didn't, you know, just didn't, the way the game was flowing, you know, it didn't feel like let's just hand the ball off here. You know, I think we did it a few times and you're not getting many yards and you're like, well, we need some plays here, you know, so you felt like, well, we got to put the ball in the air a little bit more. So I think the game dictated that. Obviously, we'd love to be able to run the football better and stay on the stick so we get some more short yardage opportunities. No, I don't think so. I mean, every team that we play runs a 3 down. Every single team. You know, most teams, and we do 4 down too. So, like, most teams do a little bit of both, and I think we'll continue to do a little bit of both. You know, some games this year we were more 4 down, you know, and some games were just 3 down, you know, and I think the way the defense play right now and throughout college football, it's way different than what it used to be. It used to be you either 3 down or 4 down, and now everybody's multiple. You know, everybody's 3 down, 4 down. They're moving the back end. You know, they're playing cover 2. They're playing man. They're doing all the different things, and then you just have to decide what can you do well without screwing your guys making mistakes. And I think that's why I don't think you can just wholesale change what you're doing in a week. You know, as you get to a bowl season, you got 3 weeks to maybe tweak some things, then you probably could do some things that way. But certainly in the off season, you got to look and see how can we create more turnovers? How can we create more havoc? It's not just turnovers. To me, it's havoc. It's like, hey, getting them in some bad situations where they got long yards now to get. So I think it's a little bit that too. And that's just something we got to get better at.
You mentioned the offense is really based off of running. I said, you know, the gamesmanship that you was running is annoying, but you guys also control that.
Yep.
So, do you feel like you might sub too much for an offense that's
Well, I mean, at times you do. At certain times, we got to have this personnel group on the field, and you know this is what we need. And then, hey, we don't really want that personnel this next play, so we got to switch them. You know, so yeah, there's certainly times where we say, hey, don't sub. We got to get. We're rolling right now. Don't sub. And then other times, we want to get the best people in those positions to make plays. So there's a balance to that. You know, we were frustrated. Well, Brendan was frustrated in the game because we had an extra lineman in the game where we went for it on 4th down, and now we had to burn a timeout because we subbed and the clock's running down. So I think that was a little bit of frustration. Could you have clocked it? Yeah, but you got an extra lineman in the game. He's never clocked it. I mean, so those things were in play as well on that one particular play. Other times in the game, you know, talk about the gamesmanship where, you know, they sub 2. They wait a little bit, then here comes another one, and I'm like, okay, at some point the referee's got to say that's enough. You know, you can't do that. So that's the gamemanship that we're working on.
I think I saw at one point in time, aren't they, when guys are coming on, the guys are supposed to be running off. There was like a time they were playing all the way.
That's right.
The guy coming on walked and like hand tapped.
Yes. That's the gamesmanship we're talking about. you know.
It's legal. I know they can do it, but does that need to be looked at?
Well, it is the discretion of the ref, and so they're supposed to all do it the same way. But to your point, sometimes a guy's running on the field, and the guy that's on the field is going to act like he don't know the guy's coming for him. He may be down in his stance, acting like and then hey, you need to get out, you know. And then he's like, oh me? Oh yeah, you okay? And then he's like, you know, these big guys. So I mean, that's the gamemanship. Well, then he gets halfway up to the side, and then they send another one. And I'm like, okay, we can't let him do this, you know. And so that was a little, I thought a little much, you know. But if the referee puts his hand down, then we got to be able to snap the football. And now if they're still on the field, there's 12 on the field. So it's just supposed to be more consistent. And but it is whatever the head ref wants to do.
You mentioned
Yeah.
the specific rules on the field. Is that more conditioning or the actual skill set?
The skill set, yeah, not the conditioning piece. I think it's more the skill set. And you're trying to get to the personnel group that you want, whether, you know, if it's 2 tight ends or we want more wide receivers on the field, and depending on what play we're getting ready to run. So, Yeah, which we normally do, like 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 3 wide. That's what we're in the most. If you go back and look at all our stuff, and then we're in that, we can roll, and we have done that, and we've run 5, 6 plays in a row like that. And but if you are going from the 12 personnel, 2 tight ends to the 11 personnel, you're going to have to sub. And I think sometimes let's say after an incompletion, or maybe you didn't get many yards, you can definitely do it then because you're not in the rhythm anyway. But I think if we're getting yards, you definitely want to just stay out there and just keep rolling. Yeah, I think number one is one of the best receivers in our conference. I think he's over 1,000 yards now. He's an outstanding player. They find different ways, to get him the ball. They do throw it quite a bit, so you're going to get some stats for those guys. So you're going to get 2 or 3 guys that's going to get a lot of yards and catches, and they do a good job with it. But number one, he stands out to me because he can make plays. Like he'll catch a hitch and make the corner miss, and he's going for 50. He's that kind of player. So we're going to have to know where he's at and try to obviously keep guys on top of him because he can make plays. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to create some ways to get to them. If you think about 2 out of our last 3 opponents really like to run the football, Utah and BYU, so you're not going to get as many opportunities. And I think these guys will certainly give you opportunities because they like to throw the ball. Again, he's 10th in the country in passing, so they're going to throw the football. And we got to do a better job of creating ways to get to the quarterback, get him off his rhythm, make him a little bit more uncomfortable. And obviously, at times drop 8, or other times we got to bring 7. So there needs to be that opportunity for our guys to do some different things. Yeah. He's done a great job all year of staying in the moment, just trying to go out and do what he can do. He's had an outstanding season, and you're right. He's going back home. He'll have a lot of people at the game. Everybody's going to be there watching him. But a bunch of them come up here and watch him too. So he knows he's got a job to do to go out and play his very best game. All his focus is on this game right here, playing a great game against TCU, and taking what the defense gives him, and just playing his best game. I think he'll have a great week of practice and come out and play a great game.
I wasn't a part of the team last year, but I remember coming in and the amount of times guys talked about how they finished the year last year and how it made them feel. And just being able to send guys like Gav, Dante, and guys like that have spent 6 years here grinding away, sending those guys out on top. And like Carvel said yesterday, 7-5 does not look good, but 8-4 looks a lot better than 7-5. So that's just kind of how it is, and just another win under the belt so we can get a good bowl game.
How amazing is it to you that Brandon's only been sacked 4 times? We look at
Yeah, obviously we're very proud of that. The coaches are scheming things up well so that we're able to protect them well throughout the game. I know if you watch, you see guys like Tawi that's in there putting guys on their back. Joe Royer's done a good job pass protecting too. So it's not just the 5 across the front. It's everyone that's protecting for Sorsby. And then he's able to make guys miss. And I know there was a couple times in this last game where he's holding the ball out just to get to the line of scrimmage because he doesn't want to take the sacks too, or he's throwing them out of bounds, which lowers his completion percentage. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks that want to constantly do that because they want the good stats. So he's also doing what it takes. So it's just definitely a collective thing that we don't like sacks, so we're just going to try to keep it to a minimum.
Kind of going off that, but when you
No, I mean, I've definitely made the right decision. I can't imagine going anywhere else. Coach Cardwell's done amazing things for my career. Just this in the short time that I've been here, I can't wait to do another year with him. Um, and like I look back at some of the first games of the year up until these last recent games, and it's night and day. Of just like once I started trusting what he was saying, once I started, understanding kind of certain things about the offense, it's really taken my game a whole nother level. And like I said, I can't imagine being anywhere else. A great group of O-line, a great group of just team in general, and then especially having like the weight room program that we have here with Nico, it just gets the group more like together as a team, and it's just been so fun to be a part of.
Have you locked in all of
No, that's all him. I mean, we've been trying to get something like that for a while because that's Lozo's type of thing, and he was very amped up about it all week. He was even trying, like he wanted to put the scout guys on their backs, but we were like, okay, like you got to calm down a little bit. But he gave it everything he had for those the 3 times that we did that, and he got a couple bodies on it, and it was awesome to see. And yeah, we're maybe keep doing stuff like that.
Joe Moore, semifinals, that
No, yeah, it's been awesome to receive awards like that. I mean, I didn't even know what the Joe Moore Award was before I got here, so just hearing more about that, and then, like I said before, Coach Cardwell was just able to get all of us 5 playing together as one, and when you got a center like Gavin Garrett, that's pretty much telling us all what to do. I mean, all you got to do is listen to him and listen to Coach Cardwell, and they're going to set you up in the best place possible. So, I mean, and then when that happens, you're going to get awards like that. So it's been awesome to receive this, something like that.
You talked about your you and Adam and both seasons. Is that like a team? You and him, and how well do you feel like at that tackle?
No, yeah, we have a great bond. I mean, we're constantly giving each other crap. Like this last game, I got a couple spin moves put on me, so he just keeps saying it to me because he knows how it makes me feel, and he knows that it'll make me better. And then the same thing goes for him. We're hard on each other, but we're constantly talking to each other during the game, during practices. Like, what did you see here? Like, what do I need to do to make you more comfortable? Like, making like calls on the run, stuff like that. But he's a great guy to play next to. I mean, obviously he's had a really good year. So yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, in the meeting yesterday, Coach Cardwell was like, Joe, like what do we still got to play for? And I said Gavin Gerhardt. And I mean, that's just straight up how it is. He was expecting me to say something about like a good bowl game or just like winning the game, but I mean, that's what it is. We didn't get to set him off on top at the nip, and that's something that we were all very devastated about. We wanted to carry him off the field because that's something that he deserved. So just going out there at TCU and just playing for Gav, playing for the rest of the seniors, trying to end it off right, and because that's what they deserve. Yeah, we'll probably need about 4 guys to lift him up.
Need more questions? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Just go back to, early on in the year, we were just out there having fun and just letting it rip. We did that on Saturday night. We just made too many mistakes. So really it's just about playing clean while cutting loose at the same time, knowing to take chances, just be situationally smart, knowing to take care of the football. And there's also there's times whenever you can force the ball into some windows. There's times whenever you can be a little bit more loose with the football, but as an offense, we got to move as one in that department, and know when it's time to be aggressive and know when it's time to pull back a little bit. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Obviously with the ankle a little banged up, I didn't think I was going to run all that much on Saturday. Ended up running a little bit, and then you just never know. TCU is a very multiple defense. They do a lot of different stuff. We'll see how they end up playing it, but we'll be ready for whatever. No, yeah, that's probably our most, fun route name, I guess you could say whatever you want to call it. But no, it was definitely, I guess, a fun route name, and it was fun to watch him, run right around the guy wide open. So, no, it was definitely a good time. We got to find a way to keep scheming guys open like that. Really good concept. So, props to Sat and our offensive staff for dialing that one up.
We talked to Seth about the subbing contract. You seem pretty frustrated after the game. Is there a part of you that when you see guys
Oh, the second, and I knew that we would have to sub, obviously, because we got Lozo out there that, we're not going to put him out wide for sure. So, when you pick up the first down, there's a chance that, you're going to sub. It was just, whenever it hit me, I was just like, no, because I just knew they were gonna sub, which as they should, like I said, post game. But just one of those things, like it's just a part of the game. So we just gotta, just going forward next time, just have a plan. Hey, let's clock it or whatever. And obviously we didn't have that plan because Lozo was out there, but we'll move past it and we'll grow from it.
Let's get it down there and see if we can get somebody to make a play and does not stay.
Yeah. The one against Arizona was not so much the arm punt variety. I was more so just trying to put air under it. It was kind of an option route for Cyrus, so didn't really know exactly what he was going to do. This one was, scramble, barely underthrew it, and he just made a good play on it, kind of undercut it. So Max usually doesn't give me too much grief for it. I'm sure I would like to think that he would get a little bit farther than, that I got it. But, he'll give me a hard time every now and then and say nice punt or something like that. But we'll go back and forth throughout the game. And if he ever shanks one or something, I'll give him a hard time too. But that doesn't happen too often, so I got to capitalize on my opportunities.
Brandon obviously this week might
Yeah, it's obviously a game that I've had circled just because I know how many people are going to be there, and that it's really close to home. So it'll be fun to be back and see a bunch of family and friends that I haven't seen in a while. But at the end of the day, the goal is to go down there and win. And I think as a team we're disappointed about these last few weeks and what we've missed out on opportunity wise, but we know the opportunity in front of us and. We're excited for this opportunity. It'll be a fun one. Yeah, 100%. We've been preaching all week. 8-4 looks a lot better than 7-5. So it's kind of a no crap statement, but we know what's at stake. And we also just know there's limited opportunities with the guys in this locker room. I said that Saturday night. You only play with one team one time, and you only have so many opportunities with them. So it's about playing for the guys in the locker room too, finishing strong for them, especially our old heads. And you just never know in this world. So we just got to find a way to go out there and find a win for those guys and this staff and everybody that's poured into the season. Yeah, absolutely. All those guys, the guys that have stuck through it, their entire journey and, overstayed their welcome like Gavin and Dante. But, those guys that have poured everything into this program and this city and, props to those guys for that. And just, huge part of our success and a huge, part of this organization and program success. So definitely sad to see them go.
There's one person you could add to your senior day for this.
It had to be Stipe, all the talking points that he gives me, that's actually a really good question. I don't know. There's a lot of people in this building that, have helped me get to where I am. You think of Aaron who, you're going to be banged up all throughout the season, and him and his staff are getting you ready. You got Nico, who, I looked horrible whenever I first got here, slightly less horrible now. So props to him and his staff. And then just obviously our coaching staff as well and everything that they've done developing my game. So, props to a lot of people in this building, and that's a really good question because I don't really know. I would have to think on that one for sure. Yeah, that was the best environment that I've been a part of since being at Cincinnati. My first true nip at night, and it was awesome, and the fans showed out. And I guess whatever way we could kind of return the favor to them by going back out there, even after a tough loss, and just go show some appreciation for them, take some pictures, whatever they wanted. So, really appreciative for the fans showing up like they did. Even through the lows of the season. Obviously, we've had more success this year than last year, but props to the fans for doing their thing and showing.
Yeah, something we've been needing to improve on these last few weeks that will help us win on this upcoming Saturday is creating more turnovers. The last few weeks we've lost the turnover battle, and I feel like that's what really depicted the turnout of the games. And if we win the turnover battle this weekend, then I feel like we have a pretty good chance.
What do you remember from Hoover last year?
Yeah, it most definitely will be a very busy day for us. They're a really good offense. They're a really good team overall. We just got to stay sound. We got to keep our eyes in the right spot and our feet as well. They're fast, they're quick. So we just got to make sure we're in the right spots to keep us right there with them. Yeah, I'm really confident in this scheme and this defense. It's most definitely more us than the scheme. We just got to do better in fitting our gaps and just doing our responsibility. We need all 11 to do their job in order for this team to succeed. So if we're not doing that, then we're not going to succeed. So we just got to keep doing our job, and it'll just come our way. Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely plenty more to come. But just got to make your layups. You just got to make the plays when they come your way. And once you do that, it's only up from there. Yeah. Growing up, we used to box all the time in the garage after we would lift. So I feel like that definitely helped a little bit with the hand-eye coordination. And then during practice as well, just going after it, going 100% every day during practice, trying to get the ball out, trying to get an interception, just things like that. Oh, no. It was definitely very difficult. We would start off doing some drills, some 1-2s, and then he would actually have me go up against him. It did not turn out very well for the most part. But I do remember I hit him with a good little body shot, and he went down a little bit after that, so I just gave up after that. But I took I took my win. Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities everywhere. Forcing fumbles, or just getting an interception. You know, the D-line, they have been doing a really good job, and we're going to need them to continue doing a good job this weekend with this quarterback. He's very immobile, so if we can get more pressure on him this week, and we can get him to just throw the ball, then we have even better chance of getting an interception, even better chance of forcing a fumble. So as long as we just stay sound, then we should be all good. Yeah, I mean, he's very quick. He's very fast. He's big as well. You know, he's not scared of you know, going one-on-one on somebody. I feel like that's where he thrives the most. But yeah, like I said, he's very quick. He's shifty. So yeah, he's just a really good overall player.